Manchester United's transfer priority positions have been revealed, and there's one big position that we thought Manchester United were targeting that is not on that list. And why? Is there plans for Amma to be at right wing back, or is it because of how impressive Bentito Mantato has been? Manchester United less interested in signing a wing back after seeing the academy start, and the options is being said. So we're going to talk about the plan. We're going to talk about the plan for academy players and more. We've got news on the Fletcher twins, Morehouse. We'll dive into that nearer the end. We will start with the right wing back news. We've also got updates on Anthony, his exit. What is sort of the situation looking like with Anthony and Real Betis? Hugo Ekitike to Manchester United transfer news on the striker that looks like a real big target of Manchester United's now. And Sancho, Chelsea to rip up an agreement to complete a Sancho deal is being reported. So, hello, and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to your 10-minute Manchester United news, transfer news, and update roundup. Well, we're going to get into all the news in the next 10 minutes for you guys, starting with what the Muppeteers have said on what United's transfer priorities are in the summer. So, right wing back, as you can see, is not on this list. Striker, number 10, midfielder, centre back, and goalkeeper are on the list according to the Muppeteers. Now, interestingly, we missed out on Kenda, and we all sort of been linked to Roger Fernandez, assuming United will go for another right wing back. But sources are saying we're actually not that bothered about right wing back. Striker is the number one priority. We need an experienced striker. 10 is also a big priority. That has been confirmed by Fabrizio Romano. Romano also confirmed that centre back is what United need for depth. You know, Leach is out injured, Evans is going to go, Lindelof's going to go, Yoro's having injury issues. So Manchester United will sign a centre back, Manchester United will sign a striker, Manchester United will sign a 10. We also know that Manchester United want to sign a player that can play deep in the pivot. They're the four positions that we know a Man United will be targeting. That's been said by Romano, that's been said by lots of sources of information. It's now been confirmed by the Muppeteers. Interestingly, they've put a fifth piece on saying goalkeeper. Now, I got information that United are already targeting Onana replacements. You know, there's a lot of information going about that Ineos are open to moving on Onana. They don't particularly rate Onana. The thing is, with Onana, it's him leaving is dependent on if we get offers for him this summer and the player wants to leave, which, to be honest, is not looking like the case. If Manchester United bring in a new goalkeeper, which I believe they will, it will likely be a Bain or Heaton replacement, not an Onana replacement. I think the goalkeeper we're looking at is a second goalkeeper. I think Onana will stay, and I think we will replace Onana in 2026. But these are what the priorities are. I think it will be a backup keeper, a centre back, a midfielder, 10, a striker. But interestingly, no right wing back. Now, if Dorgu gets injured, we're back to Delo and Masraoui at wing back. I do not like the idea of that. So for me, I think we need a second wing back in, considering how important it is for Amorim's system. Although, with a lot of options in the 10, Garnacho, Xerxes, Mason Mount returning, a new 10 coming in. If you sign a pivot player, Bruno can go in the 10. Could Amad Diallo be pushed back to right wing back? Muppeteers said this. Manchester United are more likely to go for an attacking player with strong traits who can play in the 10, likely not looking at the fullback position now. Now, Amad's best position is right 10, but Amad can play right wing back. And if you're playing a team that plays a low block and is going to defend a lot against you, I like Amad right wing back. I wouldn't play him right wing back versus City or Liverpool, etc. though. Now, they're saying that United are more interested in looking at a player that can play in the right 10 role than actually at fullback, which suggests to me that Amad potentially is going to become a right wing back. Which I don't know how I feel about that. I like Amad playing right wing back and right 10, depending on the game state. In the bigger games, I want him at 10. In the smaller games, I think he can do a job at right wing back. We know that Garnacho can play right 10, Xerxes can play right 10, Bruno can play right 10. We know that Mount can play left 10, Maynard can play left 10. And, you know, we've got a lot of players that could potentially play 10 in the system, but we definitely need a new out-and-out 10. Now, Mateus Cunha is one that's being looked at. We do know that Man United like Malik Tillman, although he's had injury issues, so I'm not sure what that's at. Rogers is appreciated, Morgan Gibbs-White is appreciated, but we could be just outpriced on them because they're English. But Man United will sign 10, and we will sign a striker. There's going to be 2 attacking reinforcements. They're also a big fan of Semenyo, but I don't know if Semenyo would be a wing-back for a 10. Semenyo is a very good athlete, and I think Man United are interested in Semenyo because of his athletic traits. But I couldn't tell you if I think he would be a wing-back or a 10. But it's definitely one to watch, which dives into the academy, Bentito Mantato. Obviously, we did not get Kenda, and we're not massively looking at Kenda alternatives. And another suggestion is not just Ahmad could play right wing-back, but those inside Manchester United rate Kenda really highly. As Statman Dave revealed, Mantato has been involved in a goal every 106 minutes across the academy, and he's been fantastic. Absolute fantastic player. And the Muppeteers also said that Mantato is highly rated by Manchester United and very much could be in the frame to be pushed forward into the first team before the season ends. We talked about Jack Fletcher in my video yesterday, potentially getting a debut. We also spoke a little bit about this in my video yesterday, that Mantato could be getting a debut before the season ends, as well as Jack Fletcher. I also know that Jack Moorhouse is very highly rated. Other information that I got was this. While Amorim is a big fan of Kenda, Manchester United feel that missing out on the star won't be a major loss. Many inside the club believe Bentito Mantato could shine in the right wing-back role. It's also understood that Amorim can play there, so bringing in another 10 would allow another number 10 would allow for that flexibility. Again, I still want Manchester United to sign a right wing-back, but apparently seeing Bentito Mantato, Amorim being impressed with Bentito Mantato, him being seen by Ineos as a potentially another Kenda. United have looked at Kenda, said, do we want to pay 40 million on that one? We've got Mantato, maybe not. Ahmed can play right with that. We could get the 10. And I think Mantato getting his debut before the end of the season is looking like a possibility. He's looking like a player that Ruben Amorim rates, that Manchester United rate. And it might be one of the reasons that maybe we're not looking at a right wing back to see how he does. I mean, I think it's a big risk to say we're not looking at a right wing back because Mantato is incredible in the academy. I think we've got Ahmed, we've got options, and this Mantato guy, he could be good. But we've got to see Mantato in the first team before making a decision on whether he could be Kenda or fill the boots or not, because it's all right being great in the academy, but first team football is a big step up. Now let's talk quickly about Antony and news on his departure. Real Betis want Antony on loan until 2026. They will work with Manchester United, the aim of extending his loan by paying more of his salary. It could depend on if Betis qualify for the Champions League. Real Betis will do anything they can to have Antony for as long as possible while paying as little money as possible. What we need is Antony to continue to do well, a lot of interest to come in for Antony in the summer, and someone willing to give us 25-30 million for Antony. Of course, Antony's on high wages at United. He'd have to take a cut to leave Manchester United. I think with the way he's playing in La Liga, he might be willing to do that. Real Betis want Antony another year on loan. I can't see Manchester United agreeing to that unless there's an obligation to buy at the end. I think Real Betis getting Champions League football will help them financially to get a deal done for Antony. So fingers crossed that Antony continues doing well. Fingers crossed with Betis get Champions League football. And yeah, let's hope that's the case. Continuing on. So we've obviously been linked to Hugo Ekitike a few times over the last few days. Chris Wheeler and Nathan Salt linked us to them yesterday. It's clearly a player that United are keeping an eye on. It's now been confirmed by Samsey reports that Manchester United have closely monitored Ekitike since 22. Sources confirmed to me that talks were held. Hugo wanted to play with Ronaldo. We know that United looked at him in the past. I remember him being linked to him in Ten Hag's sort of first summer at the club, and obviously he's doing really well at Frankfurt. And there's a lot of teams interested in him. Even Arsenal might be interested in him because he's seen as like an Isak alternative. Now I think it's a risk. I think this is someone that could be an Alexander Isak, or he could be a Rasmus Højlund if he comes to United. Do you know what I mean? I think it's a risk. But expected goals first, non-penalty XG first, shots on targets first, touches in the box first, goals and assists first, expected goals and assists first, non-penalty goals and assists first, expected assists first, shot assists first, key passes first, expected assists per 100 passes first, chance creation ratio first, progressive pass accuracy first. This is him against all the other under-23 strikers in the top 3 leagues. Just showing how good he is. Of course, he's getting a lot more chances created for him, something that he might not have at Manchester United, but he's a very good all-round striker. You know, he's got that lanky, can dribble and all of that, but I do think he's better in the front too. I think him and Marmoush work really well in that front too, and there's a lot of players that do well in the Bundesliga. They go to PSG, they go to the Premier League, they go to Real Madrid, and they're not as good. You know, you look at, was it Jovic that went to Real Madrid? You know, Kolo Muani went to PSG, but he's doing quite well now. You know, there's a lot of Bundesliga strikers like, you know, Timo Werner. So it does always worry me bringing in a player from the Bundesliga. But then I look at Marmoush, he's doing quite well at City. Haaland, I think it's getting the right one. And I do rate this guy, and I do like him a lot. But it's a risk, but it's one of those where it could be this fantastic bit of business. It could be one that's another Højlund. But it's not me disrespecting Højlund. I like Højlund. I think Højlund will become a good player, but he's not ready now. And this is another young striker. With a Gyökeres, with an Ostenham, you get a little bit more proven, ready-made player. In terms of other youth plans, the Muppeteers did add this information. They said Manchester United are looking for more youth players, looking at more youth players getting into the first team environment before the end of the season, and will probably be in the Premier League due to the importance of the Europa League competition. We've seen Chido come off the bench. We've seen Amas come off the bench when they didn't have to versus Leicester. It's very clear Ruben Amorim starting to involve youth more and more. Make sure you go check out the Muppeteers video as well, where they go into detail about this, and they speak about Jack Fletcher and more in detail. MFC Academy himself has also spoken about Jack Fletcher and Morehouse, saying, understand Ruben Amorim highly appreciates Jack Fletcher and Jack Morehouse. Doesn't necessarily mean they will play before the end of the season, but definitely I'd keep an eye out for these two. Both impressed massively in youth games. Both have been included in respective matchday squads. Mantato is another one that's highly rated. So Mantato, Morehouse, and Fletcher, the three academy stars that are maybe ones to watch as Amorim's ready to give more minutes to certain academy stars at the moment. So definitely ones to watch, potentially getting a debut before the end of the season. There was also reports coming out from Pete Hall and iPaper Sport that Chelsea considering ripping up their 25 million agreement for Jadon Sancho this summer. And they'd have to pay a significant fee to do that. But United don't want Sancho back, although we've heard that news story about 50 times from 50 different sources in the last 3 days. So I won't dive too much into that. But that is your Manchester United news and 10-minute roundup. Thank you for watching. Bye.